Welcome to section 17.3, part 1. This is the 180th session of the CISSP exam prep series. This part shifts from stopping attacks to recording and reviewing what actually happens. In this session, we'll build the foundation of logging and monitoring. We'll answer several questions. What is logging, and why does accountability depend on it? What are the common types of logs? How do you protect log data from tampering? What are audit trails, and how do they enable accountability? And how do monitoring and audit trails support investigations and troubleshooting? Why does this matter beyond the exam? Because when something goes wrong, your logs are the story of what happened. Picture a payroll team investigating who opened a confidential salary file at an odd hour. Without solid logs and secure identity, that question has no answer. On the job, logging and monitoring are how you hold people accountable, reconstruct incidents, and produce evidence that holds up. They quietly underpin nearly every investigation you will run. What is logging, and why does accountability depend on it? Logging records, events, into a file or database, capturing what happened, when, where, and who did it. When you need to reconstruct a recent event, logs are where you start. But logging alone is not enough for accountability. It only works if your identification and authentication are secure. If it is easy to impersonate another user, a log entry might accuse the wrong person entirely. So secure identity is the prerequisite. A log shows a user opened a file, but only trustworthy authentication makes that record fair. Think of a signed visitor book that only means something if you truly verified each signer. What are the common types of logs? Different logs capture different slices of activity. Security logs record access to resources like files and folders, showing who read, changed, or deleted them. System logs record events like startups, shutdowns, and services stopping, which can reveal an attacker tampering with a machine. Application logs capture whatever the developer chose to record. Firewall logs note traffic allowed and blocked, with source and destination details, but not packet contents. Proxy logs track which sites users visit, and change logs record change requests, approvals, and the changes themselves. Picture a set of specialized cameras, each pointed at a different doorway in the building. How do you protect log data from tampering? Because logs only have value if they are trustworthy. If an attacker can edit them, they can erase their own tracks and destroy the log's worth as evidence. So protect them against unauthorized access and change. A common move is to copy logs to a central system, so even corrupted originals still have a clean copy elsewhere. Restrict access with type permissions, set archived logs to read-only, and add physical protection. Organizations also set retention policies, keeping logs for a defined period, then destroying them when no longer needed. Keeping logs longer than required can actually backfire, forcing you to search years of extra data during a legal matter. Think of storing sealed records in a locked vault and shredding them on schedule. What are audit trails, and how do they enable accountability? An audit trail is the record built when event details land in your logs and databases. It captures system activity so you can reconstruct what led up to and happened during a security event in forward or reverse order. Audit trails give you accountability by tying logged actions back to the user who performed them, after that user proved their identity. That very fact deters bad behavior. People who know their actions are recorded are less likely to break the rules. Audit trails are also passive detection controls and essential evidence for prosecution, which is exactly why advanced attackers try to find and delete them. Think of a flight recorder that quietly captures everything for later review. How do monitoring and audit trails support investigations and troubleshooting? They let you rebuild events long after they occur, exposing access abuses, privilege violations, and attempted intrusions. For this to work, timestamps must be accurate and consistent across the environment, which is why organizations sync clocks to a trusted time source. Beyond security, audit trails also help with plain troubleshooting. They record system failures, software errors, and crash details, helping you tell a genuine attack from a faulty component. That is often called problem identification. A repeatedly crashing system, for instance, might turn out to be failing memory rather than an intruder. Think of a detailed diary that helps you separate sabotage from an honest accident. So let's bring it together. logging records events, but accountability depends on pairing it with secure identity. Common logs, security, system, application, firewall, proxy, and change each capture a different view. Protect log data by centralizing it, restricting access, and setting retention and destruction policies. Audit trails, reconstruct events, tie actions to users, deter misconduct, and serve as evidence. And synchronized, well-kept logs power both investigations and everyday troubleshooting. Get this foundation right, and monitoring becomes your most reliable witness. The MCQs covering all the topics and concepts from this session are available on rucloud.com. Practice the chapter-specific MCQs before moving on to the next session. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions or feedback, post a comment below or email us. I will see you in the next session.